Why I love the Phoenix Suns owner and Jokic Altercation. I'm Tony. Welcome back to Streetball Strategies.
Yes, look, like yesterday, I remember that. Like the whole hood remember me. We used to say, what if we make it to the league? Get rich, buy cars, you know how it go. We was just some kids by the corner store.
I know I'm a few games and a few days late in reacting to this altercation, but I didn't watch that game live. I heard about it afterwards, but I only just now saw the video highlight of what went down. And I gotta say, I love it. I love everything that happened. I think it's great for basketball. I think it's great for the NBA because nothing illegal happened. Like, no rules were broken, no violence was started, no fights, no suspensions. I don't even know if there were any fines. So I thought we would talk real quick about why I'm in love with this little minor altercation. First of all, I think it's important to say that it's thankful that there were no real problems that arose from this. So like, there was no real violence, no fights were started. It wasn't some crazy malice at the palace kind of situation. I don't even think there were any kind of technical fouls called on anybody. So that's good thing number one. But what I loved most about this altercation was that it all made sense. Everything that happened made sense. So looking at it from Jokic's perspective, everything he did made sense. All he sees is Okogie chase the ball out of bounds, fall into the first row of spectators, and he's got these long legs and he's trying to untangle himself because he tripped over like a camera guy or an audio guy or whatever. So as Jokic sees this goes down and he sees Okogie out of the play and trying to untangle himself and get back on the floor, Jokic sees the opportunity of okay, if I go get the ball and inbound it real quick, we can go down the floor and the Nuggets will have a 5-on-4 advantage. It makes perfect sense for Jokic to think this and try to accomplish this. If I were him, I would have done exactly the same thing. And Jokic probably doesn't know that that's the Phoenix Suns owner. He doesn't know that's Matt Ishbia. To him, it's just another spectator. So he goes up, he tries to get the ball from this random spectator, and the fan won't let go of the ball, so he tries to rip the ball out of the fan's hands. Makes perfect sense. I would have done the same thing. And then when the fan doesn't let go of the ball and it kind of goes flying up into the air, Jokic kind of just gives this random fan a little push with his elbow so he sits back down. I don't blame him for doing that. I probably would have done the same thing. And guess what? I'm okay with that little elbow because it's nothing. Jokic is a huge dude. If he wanted to actually hurt this guy, he could easily do that. He doesn't want to do that, but he does want to send this subtle message hey dude, you're getting in my way. We're trying to play and win this playoff game. You're getting in the way of us doing that. So give you this little elbow shove right here. Nothing wrong with that. Perfectly fine. No violence, no hurt, no harm coming from that. I'm perfectly fine with that. And then from Matt Ishbia's perspective, it's literally his business to try to help his team in any legal way that he can. It is literally in his self-interest to make sure that Josh Okogie gets back on the court before the ball is inbounded so that it stays even, so that there is no 5-on-4 situation. So the ball bounces to him and he holds on to it, and you could just tell by his body language that his thought process was okay, I gotta wait till Okogie gets up and back in the play before I relinquish this ball, because he's holding on to it I gotta hold on to this until my player, literally his player, gets back onto the floor. Makes perfect sense. Exactly what I would do. I would expect the same kind of response from a Phoenix coach or player or medical training staff person. I would expect them to do exactly the same thing. I'm definitely gonna expect that from the dude who paid for everything. In fact, when Jokic comes over and tries to rip the ball out of his hands, if I'm somehow able to maintain my grip on that ball when he does it, and I realize what Jokic was trying to do, because Matt Ishbia, right, he's a former ball player. He played at Michigan State, and you see me, I playfully hate everything that has to do with Michigan State. But in this instance, I'm completely with Matt Ishbia because he's a former baller. He played for Tom Izzo. He knows what's going on. He knows what Jokic is trying to do, and he, as the owner of everything, that entire building, is trying to prevent that 5-on-4 situation. So when Jokic tries to snatch the ball away from him, if that's me and I somehow miraculously hang on to the ball after Jokic tried to rip it out of my hands, I would throw the ball over my shoulder 10 rows behind me and be like, hey Jokic, I guess we gotta wait now, don't we? Until my player gets back on his feet and on the court, I guess we have to wait, don't we? That's the only different thing I would have done in that situation had I been Matt Ishbia. So I love this because it shows passion, it shows competitiveness, it shows that you want to win, you care. And no rules are being broken, no violence was started, no technical fouls were issued. It's just pure competitiveness, and it all makes sense. It makes sense what Jokic did, it makes sense what Ishbia did. The whole thing makes sense. There were no violence, no fouls, no rules broken. It was all in good fun. It shows passion and competition, and I love all of that. But of course there has to be critics to everything, and all of the naysayers are saying, oh, Matt Ishbia can't be doing this because it sets a bad precedence for all the rest of the fans. Like now going forward, whenever the ball bounces into the stands, any fan that gets a hold of the ball may choose to not give the ball back to the players or the official. We don't want to set that precedence for the fans. Which brings me to the one only caveat for this whole situation, which is it is very important, it is critical that everybody is made aware, everybody in the arena, everybody watching at home and TV, that person that was hanging onto the ball, that was the owner of the Phoenix Suns. He owns the team, and as far as I know, at least theoretically, he owns the entire building. He owns the entire property. Maybe the building, the arena is owned by another corporation or ownership group or whatever, but as far as I understand, and theoretically, it seems like Matt Ishbia owns everything. Everything is his. He owns it, including the Phoenix Mercury. And as long as everybody is made aware that he is the owner, then it's okay. That makes it okay. The fact that he's the owner and he's the one and only person in that building of 20,000 people, he's the one and only person that would be okay to do outside of the coaching staff and the players on the team. Because he owns everything, it's okay. The owner, whether you like it or not, there's privileges, exceptions made for him because he owns everything. He owns the parking lot. He owns all the trees. He owns the shot clock. He owns the baskets, and he owns the basketballs. The ones that he's holding on to, he owns that thing. As far as I know, it's not like that the baskets and the shot clock and the basketball, it's not like he's renting or leasing that stuff from the NBA. He owns it all. It's his. That's what makes it okay that he held on to the basketball. It wouldn't be okay for anyone else, for any other fan, no matter if they paid thousands of dollars to sit in that seat at that part of the court. If you are a ticket purchaser, never okay for you to hang on to the ball. Immediately give the ball back to the player or the official. You can never hang on to the ball. That is never okay if you purchased a ticket. But if you own the building, if you own the entire property, if you own the basketball that the player or official is asking for, exceptions there. It wouldn't be okay for anyone else but him and the actual team to hang on to that ball. No fans, nobody who buys the tickets, just him. If he wanted to, I don't know why he would, but if he wanted to, in the middle of a game, if he wanted to just like shut off the power to the entire arena, he could do that. Couldn't he? Technically, theoretically, he could just turn off all the power. It wouldn't make any sense. I can't foresee a reason why he would want to do that, but if he wanted to, he owns everything. He could do that if he wanted. Now, there'd probably be repercussions from the NBA, yada, 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 but that doesn't mean in the moment he couldn't do it. He can, because he owns everything. I'm sure when you buy an NBA team, there's all kinds of, terms of service and agreements that you have to agree to, like, yeah, you're gonna let NBA teams come into your building and play games on this date, and you have to follow all these guidelines and policies when you become an owner. I get that. I'm just saying, in the moment like that, for him to hang on to a basketball for 38 more seconds than he should have, I'm fine with that. And I'm fine with it because it makes sense. It's his business to try, literally his business to try to help his team win however he can. It's not like he can get on the court and participate, so in this instance, when the ball bounces to him and it's in his interest, his business interest, to hang on to the ball, hang on to it. And as long as everybody knows that he's the owner, he owns everything, as long as everyone's made aware of that and everybody knows, then to me, that's the one and only caveat. And as long as that takes place, perfectly good with it. That's why I love the altercation between the Phoenix Suns owner and Jokic. Like I said, as far as I know, there were no suspensions taking place because of this. I don't know if there were any fines. I wouldn't be surprised if Matt Ishbia was fined, but if he does get fined, or if the NBA fines the Phoenix Suns organization as a whole, I wish and hope that he does what I wish players would do. So if a player gets fined for something that makes sense, like if they deserve to be fined, then I'm fine with them being fined. How many times can I say fine? But if they get fined for something that doesn't make sense, like they get fined but they obviously should not be getting fined, and that happens regularly, in instances like that, I wish the players would say, so what? I'm being fined. I don't care. My team can fine me, or the NBA can fine me, and guess what? I don't care. You know why I don't care? 'Cause I'm rich. I'm a millionaire. The same business that's fining me, they're fining me pennies and paying me dollars. I get paid so much money every year. They're fining me $20,000. I get paid $6 million this year. Why do I care about being fined? I wish players that got fined for illogical, unreasonable reasons, I wish they would say that. But the owner of the team, the building, the property, he definitely could and should say that. Let the NBA fine him $100,000. So it means nothing to him in terms of it's not going to hurt his pocketbook. Let them fine him that much money. What he did made sense, and if he gets fined, which he shouldn't, he should be like, I don't care, so what? I'll pay it. Nothing to me. I wish that's what he would say if he does get fined. So I want to thank you guys for watching. If you liked this video, if what I said made sense to you, let me know down in the comments, like, what do you think? Do you think I'm crazy? Like, no, this is not okay, this should never happen? Like, let me know down in the comments what you think. And if you did like this video, then please subscribe to the channel. Also, make sure you hit that thanks button down below. When you do that, all of your comments are gonna get highlighted, and it directly supports the channel when you hit that button. So for anybody that does, thank you. Thank you very much. As always, like, share, comment, like I said. Hit that notification bell so you're notified whenever any videos go live on this channel. And until then, I will see y'all next week.
Trying to find your way on this road called life, can't be running in place. It's a marathon, you gotta find your pace. In the words of late Nip, run your race and never look back. You done came this far, the game always loses, you leave with scars. Trauma as a young man hurt my soul. The stories of survival that never been told.